It's Morning Express, and yes, this time we decided to go south. This gentleman here, we're actually just about to say something about
I think we're
music.
celebrating Solo's dread, like...
Nobody can stop reggae, but you know, Lucky Dube is always good. When you listen to him, you just know, talk about your roots. Plus, you don't have to be dread.
Yeah, you
to
don't
be a
have to dread to be
Rastafarian.
You're a Rasta. You just picked a line from somewhere. You just picked a line from somewhere. You don't have
Let's
to
just say I'm a reggae fan, so
Great.
Both of you are reggae fans.
Yeah, that makes the two of us.
Oh, you were talking about that guy, and a number of years ago now, since
It's close to 5 years
I
now.
know.
Close to 5 years.
Yeah.
Since it passed.
I don't know if the producer actually had something in mind when he was putting this music together, because it also resonates with the fact that if Nelson Mandela was alive today, it would be his birthday.
All right. Cool.
But how are you guys? How are you doing?
We're cool. It's been a great week.
Yeah.
Many good things. A little bit sad story of the Malaysian Airlines and stuff. Last night, yesterday for the matter, and so the mood is just there. But yeah, showbiz wise, things are good, and
Everything's
so
fine.
much happening. And we're just talking about the Black Coffee South Africa in town for the big concert, the Bacardi concert tomorrow.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Something to look
Interesting.
forward to. And if you just go to page 3, you would find so many other events happening this weekend. Traps happening at Allianz, a great
Alliance Francaise.
comedy of sorts.
And it also happens to be Steven's birthday as well.
Oh,
It's a birthday
that one.
weekend.
It's
So
my little
July
weekend.
birthdays are just too many.
July birthdays are great birthdays.
There are way too many, actually.
It's a chilled month. It's relaxed. Yeah. Hakuna mambo mingi.
So, how's your week been?
No, been easy. The World Cup hangover still on. So
Really?
I'm really having a hard time trying to figure out what to watch on TV right now.
Okay,
It
don't
looks
worry.
like-
There's the Kenyan Premier League at the moment.
They say all men are back to the house, and the remote belongs
like
to the woman now.
It's like we're coming from a break. So we're single again now.
And the English
all
Premier
confusing.
League is coming up, so
Yeah.
no worries really. In 14 days you won't be, well, less
14
than
days.
14 days actually. It's now about 8 days,
Yes,
7, 8 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very tough 8 days.
But still great games. Like our team is playing this weekend.
Yeah.
The sports analyst should have.
Just
been
tell me
actually
something.
all
Why
about
is it that
stuff.
we do not really pay a lot of attention to our local teams? Why don't we go
I think it's
watch
doing
our
well right
local
now.
teams?
I think it is doing better than
Yeah.
it was a couple of years back.
Yeah.
So it's getting more competitive. We're getting there.
All right, now let's get to the Pulse.
Yes.
And by the way, the Pulse, there's been a lot of questions, people asking how exactly they can be in the cover or at least show up on the pinup.
All right.
And maybe you need to clarify the process on what exactly
we
they need to
should
do,
say
aside
this
from
again and
telling them to visit the Facebook and Twitter pages.
The cover girl basically is just a girl who is the age of the pals, which is 18 all the way to 25, 28. Anybody below the ages of 18, then you really find yourself in a cover. And basically it's everybody. It's the plus size, the slim girl, the extremes, the laid back. I mean, it's everybody. There are no discrepancies on this and stuff. If you call pals, if you come and visit us, you were interested in stuff, be free. You don't pay nothing. Let nobody lie to you, or you have to pay something to those guys.
Yeah.
We have a photographer who is a specialist in doing the cover girl.
Yeah.
He is based in town.
Okay.
Our photographers, the Pius and the rest, are specialists in doing this. And so basically, once you avail yourself in the office or just mail us and tell us what you want, you will be guided on where to go and just become the cover girl.
Okay,
Yep.
that's cleared out. I think we're not going to have to ask that
Not again.
All right, now
Not
we're
again.
talking sex in the Pulse today.
Yeah.
And sex is a very emotive issue.
Whoa.
Can I call it emotive? Because it exudes a lot of, different reactions when someone hears sex, you
Yeah.
know. And they're either comfortable or they're not comfortable.
Most
Are
people
you
are not.
comfortable
Most
talking
people
about
act like
sex?
they're not.
Are you comfortable talking about sex?
I'm comfortable talking about sex.
Anything about sex?
Anything about sex.
Steve?
From where we coming from as a people and from the morals and stuff that things we learning, maybe church, fundamental church and family lifestyle. I think from where we coming from, sex is a very hard thing to discuss. I don't remember ever sitting down with my parents talking about sex. I mean, you are supposed to understand and move on, or understand and keep off. But I think from the debates that are coming up now, we have a bill. Is it a bill in Parliament?
Yes.
Where
About the
where
distribution
there's
of condoms?
exactly. where young people are having sex, unprotected sex, and the whole question of is a generation getting lost, and we're not telling them what is wrong and what is right. I think there's a genuine need really for people to open up and talk about the whole issue.
And that's why you're saying let's stop burying our heads in the sand and pretending that teenagers are not active.
I think it's a genuine talk that we should discuss this. I don't know what platforms we could create for this, but genuine easy platforms so we can say we can cluster you and you. Let's discuss this issue and just come up with the answers on what should be done and what should not be done. But the stories are ahead, and I think that makes a big read for us today.
Yes, it is actually the big read.
Right.
And you go on to say that away from the traditional morals and religious shyness, it is time we opened up on the condom debate.
Yes.
And so there we go.
There we go.
It's going to be an interesting one. But even before we can get to that bigger story, I'm sure there's also quite a lot that is making news.
Many good stories, and Solo was looking at the head-to-head, page 4.
Yes.
2 rappers there, but I'll just move very fast to page 5, one of my favorites, and I think one of the people's biggest favorite, where you are told, please don't leave the house until you see what's in the coat. If you want someone else to can.
Yeah, so you don't become a victim of the of the lens.
Yes.
Of the pulse lens.
And I think we have a real big coat out there from a guy again who is in the coast. And I don't think he expected to find himself here. I don't think he has an idea who took the photos.
Yes.
But this is a track down of one Hassan and
Faisal,
the little,
and
again, controversial Sabi, where they were going shopping and had a little grab.
It looks like they're coming from dinner. And they've been denying rumors about their
been together.
That they've been together.
Right.
But clearly now the cameras.
The cameras said it. So the question is still, it wasn't me.
And it looks still very
but
intimate.
actions speak louder than
words.
words.
I think action now speaks. And these are 1,000 words of the picture.
You know. And the little moment there, the big one, this is the aftermath. That guy.
This guy looks like he's waiting for something.
He's waiting for a revelation to happen.
He's waiting for a revelation to happen.
That's the quote.
And his friend is stunned. Yeah.
I think that's it for guys, just to... the rest will wake up and find something.
Yeah.
The last thing he remembers is ordering a drink in a plastic bottle.
That's the last thing he remembers.
Is that his phone down there? Or what is that?
Let's say just his ganche.
He looks comfortable though.
He looks okay.
Actually see what is it? It's a beer actually in his hand over there.
It was happening before this
and
happened.
Then there's the fashion cop.
Yes.
Yep.
And I think sometimes you just need to look into the mirror before you get out of the house. A flamingo can easily be spotted by its long legs.
I'll go for the last guy there.
Yeah.
And I like the caption that we do there. But of course, one cannot fail to recognize him.
This gentleman looks like a Boda guy.
These comments are just way too much.
It's a cold season, I guess.
Did
you see Rihanna flash out her bra?
It is there, right? There are pages. If you just go back, flashing and all that. I know we are limited the way we expose and what, but we saw that.
Let a girl have fun.
It's not the first time she's doing that. Every time she's excited about something,
I was not surprised. I was not surprised at all.
Wow.
I was not surprised at all.
Yeah, and we were talking about the spotlight there.
Yes. Milfat.
The young, sassy, controversial little girl who came to the spotlight because of talking about fries.
Yes.
I mean, isn't that amazing? That you can make a career out of talking about I don't take fries.
I just remember her talking about fencing. She was talking about, I do not watch I watched the US opening, and I'm thinking, what opening is she talking about? And then she talked about plastic money, and then I was like, damn it. And then on top of talking about plastic money, she gets this very crisp knot from her wallet.
What if she was that girl? She dreams about that. People say you fake it until you make it.
Well, fake it till you make it, but when you fake it, you need to fake it with some style.
Wow.
Yeah. And finally now she comes out in a spotlight and speaks out about her life ever since the TV show.
The TV show.
And what's been happening.
I think it's a good thing that she's come out to clear the rumors.
Yes.
Because everybody believes that she's gone under because, she has a little bum and all that. But she says, I'm here. I'm not expecting nobody's baby.
Yes.
I'm dating and all that kind of thing.
Would you categorize her as a socialite?
From the effort she's making now, it's a different direction from what we see with the Kenyan socialite, so to say, because she joined this production company, Bansoft, and she'd be training about production, TV production and that kind of thing, and I think she's very professional in terms of media and TV. I wouldn't really say she's socialite,
but she was just on the spotlight. I
think she's just on the spotlight about a little controversial matter. But if this makes her breakthrough, then.
But I think she's misunderstood. I guess.
She says she's misunderstood. Willie Paul is misunderstood. So if you start the waters a little bit, then and then you claim you're misunderstood. I just think you're just going against the norms of. What everybody.
But I also didn't think that she was pregnant. I saw the photos of that apparent day, and she just looked full. Like, I think she overate.
Yeah. No, she says in the story, I was just fat. And I think it's just for people to look
but
for
again,
more fat story.
It goes back to the kind of responses she gives. You know, she's being asked here, are you pregnant? She says, yes, I'm dating, but pregnant?
It's not
that ain't me.
You know,
it still goes back to the same kind of person she is.
So look, can a girl just be a little bit fat?
Or full?
She was just full.
Some people get full and
it happens to people.
Tummy's bulge out.
But let's look at the point where maybe she might have been misunderstood. Do you think she was misunderstood? Don't you think she was just speaking out her mind? And maybe she was just being too blunt.
She must have done that, but most people took it the wrong way. Most people took it the wrong way, and it went bizarre on social media. So
she comes out and says, "I in a TV show." And probably she'll be one of the screens very soon.
Great.
Probably.
Big things for her. And then page 8.
Yeah.
We look at Kagwe Mungai. One of the youngest budding producers in Kenya. He's an actor as well. And he's doing real good. And Esther Mushane talks to him, and he speaks out about his career and what's up for him.
Right.
What I like about the story and what comes out, it's this guy has studied what he's doing, and very few people know that. He's laid back kind of guy. He's not the kind of guy who would be found with the controversials for that matter. But he's very good in what he's doing. He's right now in Coke Studio and that kind of thing, where the best would be found. But very little is said about him. And I like the way Esther would ask him, so how comes you're not on the spotlight? He says, just a matter of time. My work will speak for me. And I think that's the kind of guy you'd look and say, wow, he knows what he's doing and he knows where he's going.
And at only 23 years, he's doing big things, having worked with people like Eric Wanaina, Mudono McQueen.
And all said and done, he looks good. Do you guys ever think that people look good?
Let's say the photo looks really good.
He looks hot.
So the photo looks really, really good.
Oh, yeah. And of course, there is the young and the reckless.
Yes.
That is the cover story there.
Yes.
And the condoms to schools debate won't go anytime soon. Neither will the debate on sex education in schools. And the harsh reality that teenagers are actively in sex is out. And of course, Sophia Muthoni breaks down the facts. The pulses arise to the occasion. Let's talk about sex.
Let's talk about sex. I think it's one of the most best research stories that we would have on this topic. And it doesn't just talk about young people and the clubs like we talk every day. It just talks about the research and what the research is saying about young people and sex norms in the country right now, where you'd be so shocked that a kid at the age of 10, they know what sex is.
Yes.
They're having sex and they have zero education about sex. The parents would not even expect this to be happening. And the question is, so where we hear it?
I mean, we cannot ignore this whole thing. It's happening everywhere, in social parties, in the clubs, when people do drives out of town, and even the kids themselves, even within themselves at the age of 10, between 10 to 15, it's happening. Right. So the big question has been, do we talk about sex or are we overrating it? Is it so overrated, or is it something that we can actually comfortably
I think the
speak?
fact that we don't talk about it makes it really overrated. And the fact that you keep hiding all this information from the younger people, they get even more curious.
Yes.
I remember when I was a teenager, when they told me don't do it.
Yes.
I always asked myself why I shouldn't do it.
Yes.
But then, of course, and in the process of wanting to know why, you probably end up somewhere, somehow.
Curiosity, yes.
Curiosity, of course. When someone says weed is bad, and then you're thinking, why is it bad?
And you decide to actually
Exactly.
try it.
And these revelations are actually shocking. 6.7% of children between the ages of 12 to 14 years old sampled for the report had sexual intercourse.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yes.
I mean, and I like what Dr. Joseph Muleka from University of Nairobi says, and talks about the 10-year-olds. You know, he says this may not be really there every day, but it's happening. But then there's need to talk about these things. And we have another little quote there from Lucy Jerry, and she says, sex is a way of making money for us, students in campus.
Yes.
I mean, if I would go out
They
and
don't
have
lie
this
about
guy,
it.
They don't lie about it.
Yes.
And this guy gives me a little money, buys me a little phone, then I would let that happen. And another research, actually this is from Mount Kenya University, another research done where they say guys use condoms and all that in relationship. After 6 months, they dropped it and life went on and stuff. And
But
you just think,
I
hey.
think because we're coming from a generation that doesn't want to talk about sex and all that.
Yes.
Although we are slowly coming into the realization that it's a very important thing because these kids know more than we actually think.
So who are we blaming here? We're blaming the parents, blaming the teachers,
we need
blaming...
to blame. They don't have a right formula of introducing. When do you start talking about sex? When do you tell kids about things like condoms? When do you start issuing condoms?
Yes.
Or when would you not be shocked if you found your daughter or your son?
Because another thing to look at is just how much time these kids spend in school as compared to the time they spend at home. So, I mean, you have 3 months in school, boarding school probably, which is the majority of them, and then they come back home for how many weeks? 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Yes,
and then
3 weeks.
go back to school. So the time they spend with their parents is even
Very
much
limited.
more limited compared to the time they spend in school. But then while they're in school, what their parents don't tell them is what they seek out to
But
get.
they have teachers there again, and that's why there's a whole debate about let's have sex education in school too.
Back in the
just to
day,
get this done.
well, at least the schools I went to, we used to have these female, what do you call them? Matrons. Locally, we used to call them singers, and they used to have all this sex talk going around. You know, they were teachers, but they had another role on the side. So their job was to tell you that, look here, at the age of 12, anything can happen. As long as you've seen your first menstrual period, anything can happen if you mess around. So, you know, they
Anything
were
can
always
happen,
there.
you know
Yeah,
that.
and
They
they
like
used
that.
to spend nights with us in the dormitories for whatever sex questions that we had. We just pose them to them, and they would answer them. I don't know if schools here
So you
have
were
the
bred well?
same kind of... well, I could say I was bred well. And of course, if I was so curious about something, my folks were very ready to say, look, that you're asking needs some time to be answered. So, yeah.
Honestly, over here, and I don't know if it's where I grew up at, if you're seen with a man and you're a girl,
That's caning.
actually you are whipped
There's some caning
and told
that's
to
gonna
run
happen
home and let me not see you again with a man. And you're thinking, what's wrong? I mean, we go to school together.
We were brought up with fear.
You know,
Fear of dating. So
it-
don't blame
Wow.
Kenyan men.
you know,
Okay.
you know. But I think the culture should change, and that's also basic that somebody should do something. I don't know who, but Pulse just lays it there that those are the facts. It's for the people to just say, this is the way forward.
Right.
Right.
There's the attitude as well, of course, of the fashion in there. I love this girl. She seems very hip and young.
Yes.
And Steve was saying he actually loves the very first picture on the
first picture is
extreme
cool.
left.
Is the attitude there?
By then,
Right.
no, it doesn't work for this kind of weather though.
It doesn't.
I
Really
think
doesn't.
for the girl, when you're talking about the shorts and you're thinking about the cold weather and you have the boots there,
Yeah.
I think she's cool with it. And it's just being out there. It's not really going to the office and sitting down. I think she's going for activity like you would go dancing.
Yes.
You'd be, doing party with your little girls out there. And I think the sports thing comes out with Rose.
Well, I
And
don't
you're
know
talking about
about.
the shoes.
I don't know about her choice of shoes, really.
Oh.
I'm sure there's like a better set of shoes
She
out
was
there in
elevating.
this world.
Oh.
Out there. I love her from head all the way until we get to the feet. It's just some wrong choice of shoes there.
Okay. She should be talked to, or Ross should be talked to right there. All right.
And of course, there's the Nigerian sisters beat, and this time it's Chidinma.
Yep.
It's a whole bunch of them. Look, all those female artists from Nigeria.
Yes.
And it's been doing big. And Chidinma was in the country last week.
Yeah.
Is she
If
still
she's still
around?
around, that was the question.
I'm still not sure. Yemi Alade was here as well.
Yes.
I think the only person who's not come amongst the big ones are people like Tiwa Savage.
Tiwa Savage.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not going to be long before
I'm
she's
sure it's
here.
not going to be long.
She's here. And there's a whole migration of these Nigerian girls. Every time you mention them, they sound like Kenyan musicians now. When you talk Yemi, they say, that one, we were with her last weekend at Skylarks and stuff. And I think there's a whole shift. To an extent that you would forget who our Kenyan female singers are. You know, and that we cannot blame these ones for their aggressiveness just to market their music across the board.
So are we giving them so much airtime as compared to our own
we've been
Kenyan
invaded.
artists?
It's marketing. It's marketing, and you can hardly ignore something that's good.
I don't think we can blame them for what they're doing. And the industry cannot say the media is giving so much buzz to these guys, because if they're churning good music, they're all over and look at that image, packaging themselves well and stuff. And people like them, really. You cannot blame them for invading your space.
But another key thing to note, they seem to really love Kenyan men. So I don't know what's up with our Kenyan sisters, but the Nigerian women are really appreciating.
It used to be the Nigerian men
really appreciating us now. I think it's safe that we can.
So, did you meet somebody who just confirmed that they're appreciating you?
I saw it on social
from the other side of the world.
All right, let's really quickly move to the overheard. And there's of course a lot. The story actually in Pictorial that is drawing everyone's attention is about Rafton and Crystal wedding next week. Are we invited? A
big wedding. I can assure you we are going. That one we are going, and we have the color schemes right for who, and so we are in the know. But there's been all buzz about Rafton and Crystal. I've been quite some time. They've been dating for, I would say, almost 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And big story is, Pulse has it. And there's been all this speculation because people know them, and people know they've been dating, and people know they've been recording together, people know they've been traveling together. So it's a question of when are these guys doing this, because he's a big man, and somebody comes out last week and says they are waiting tomorrow. And it happens that the person was duped, actually, because it wasn't happening tomorrow, it's happening next weekend. On Saturday. And even in today's press, in some sections of I would say, like they would say in the media, I've seen Rafton's wedding postponed. Really, it wasn't postponed.
No,
it was meant to be on the 26th.
Some people just fashion the information, and of course you have it right there.
You have right there. Everybody is ready for this. I know they have a beautiful guest list at the Boma Hotel. I think they'll need really good guards to guard this place, because I know everybody in town
will want to be there.
Would want to be in this beautiful wedding.
But sadly, it's only an invite-only affair.
Celebrity weddings.
It is.
Okay.
We have another small one there of this young boy from Mombasa, Mutere, the guy who's creating the big buzz in Mombasa right now, who came out some few months ago and told Pulse, you know what, I don't know anything about women, contrary to what we have just read.
He spoke freely about sex.
He spoke freely about sex.
And he said he's a virgin at 27
And since then he's been getting calls, and everybody is saying we want a piece of Omutere.
And now we're seeing him posing with 3 ladies. So I don't know whether the status has changed now.
Well, the status always changes. When someone goes from nothing to something, the status has to change. But there's an interesting one here. A minister infected me with HIV. I mean, what?
It's a sad one.
It's a very sad one.
A sad one when I just think the blind piece should just be let be. But just to give a little bit of this, is this girl was an air hostess with one of the leading airlines.
And a model.
And she this guy tells her, you know, I can get you a job. You don't have to stay there, you know, and promises her all that. Gives her some little money for some given time. Gets her baby according to her. And then from there drops her, and this happens. I mean, it's rather sad. And she says the guy doesn't want to talk to me anymore. And another big situation.
Very sad one.
Well, there we go. Can we sometimes mention their names? You know,
sometimes you can mention the names, but it's just a sensitivity of it, and now the
it probably makes them more cautious.
Probably sometimes we just let this go to the Nairobi.
The more time we say the unidentified,
the Nairobian can deal with it from where Pulse left.
The more you write things like the minister who we choose not to mention, you know, things like that. You know, sometimes it just makes it seem like they can keep on doing it.
But the good thing is they already know themselves.
They already know themselves, and